What's going on, everyone? So the Sacramento Kings are an absolute disaster. Look, I have been more spot on with Sacramento the last 3 years than probably any team in the league. I mean, by a lot, I've been scary accurate about Sacramento. From the year that they ended up being, the 2 seed, I said that they would be a top seed and that they were going to be really good, but they'd be like a first round exit. Then the following season, I said that they would regress. And then I said that there's a clear path, clear direction they need to go. And then they traded for Demar Derozan. And I was like, that was the biggest mistake that they could have made. They were on the right path, right? And we've seen that so many times with teams, these young teams that are really good and they have a clear direction that they just stay the course. Right? It's incredibly obvious what you need to really kind of get to that next level. And time again, we see these organizations just do the opposite, right? Minnesota is a great example recently. Again, Sacramento, I think, is another great example recently. Atlanta did it with DeJounte Murray. We've seen these teams just fumble the bag. And it's just like, what? Like, these basketball minds really can't understand and comprehend what's there. Right? It's weird. It's really odd to me. However, Sacramento is still trying to be aggressive and active on the trade market. Biggest mistake that they made was going and getting DeMar DeRozan. They needed 3-and-D wings. They needed to upgrade Harrison Barnes or just go get and add to Harrison Barnes another legit 3-and-D wing, defensive pieces. If they could have went and got Mikal Bridges and OG, they'd probably be one of the best teams in the league right now. Right, because you'd have Fox. They just needed that size and versatility defensively out on the perimeter alongside Fox. They have Fox and Malik Monk as the 2 offensive weapons, as the 2 offensive threats. They didn't need to go get another isolation scorer who doesn't shoot threes, who doesn't help with their pace, right? When Sacramento has never had an offensive issue, right? They are every year up there in pace, and every year, they're one of the top teams in the league at just jacking up threes. And you got a guy that does none of that, right? It's just there's moments where DeMar DeRozan looks great in that, but it's because he can be an efficient scorer. So, he gets limited attempts and he's getting buckets. But it's a redundancy with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. And I understand Sacramento had this panic situation because Malik Monk got hurt and our offense, or not our offense, I'm not a Kings fan, I'm a Laker fan, but the offense just squandered, right? It just fell apart, right? But how often are you expecting Malik Monk to get hurt? I mean, any team in the league, if they miss their best offensive weapon, are probably, or, one of their best top 2 offensive weapons, guess what's happening? They're probably going to struggle offensively, right? It's how it works, it's how it goes. And yet Sacramento was oh no, we need to get another one just in case. And it's no, yeah, you were fine. You had a clear path. But Tyler, why are you talking about this? I'm talking about this because Sacramento is expected to push hard for Kyle Kuzma. A lot of talk about Kyle Kuzma being in the mix for a potential Sacramento trade. Those are the kind of guys they should have been trying to get. Right? This past offseason, instead of going and focusing on getting a DeMar DeRozan, they should have been trying to get a Kyle Kuzma, a Jeremy Grant, a Dorian Finney-Smith, a Cam Johnson, those guys. Those are the guys that they should have been trying to push hard to go and acquire. Those are the guys that they should have been, having the conversations centered around. Right? Rather than going and getting another isolation score. They needed 3-and-D wings. Right? They needed guys to slot in. It would have been much better if you would have gotten, if you could have, you probably wouldn't have gotten Mikal Bridges because the Knicks just insanely overpaid. But, could you have gotten an Alex Caruso, right? Having a, De'Aaron Fox, Caruso, Kuzma, right, with a Harrison Barnes and a Sabonis would have been much better than what you got right now. Still would have been great in pace. You would have been much better defensively, particularly defending the perimeter. I mean, look at what Harrison Barnes is doing right now in San Antonio. If he could have had a similar season this season, if not, you could have looked to maybe turn him into a different 3-and-D wing. You would have just been in a much better situation. You would have had some defense, some versatility out there on the perimeter, right? You could be looking maybe to go make an add and making those key adjustments or pieces, right? Maybe upgrade at the backup center position or something like that if you needed to, whatever. And it would have been fine. And even to close games, you could have had like De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk with a Kuz and an Alex Caruso and a Sabonis, or you could have had Harrison Barnes and Sabonis. Like however you want to show, it would have given you just so much more offensive and defensive versatility there. You still would have maintained the level of shooting and scoring. It's like Sacramento was just like everything that they clearly needed. It was like, nah, let's not do that. Let's do the opposite. Let's get a guy that can't defend, that keeps us small, right? Like, it's just, it was illogical. Like, I have no idea what Sacramento was thinking. I have no idea why, like, what the GM and ownership there were like, it would have been great. Let's go get DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, and then DeMar DeRozan with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, we don't even have to stop anybody. We'll just outscore everybody. How's that working? Not working very good. Right? Like right now, Sacramento's running the risk of not even being a play-in team. Right? Like they're not that far. Luckily, the bad teams are really that bad. But Sacramento could mess around and end up outside looking in. Right? And it's because of the poor decision-making. They need to go get that piece. They need to go get that guy that can come in, be that like a Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma makes a ton of sense for them. I know he's not having the most efficient season. I know he hasn't been like lights out or anything like that. But one, he gives you that size at 6'9", that play either forward spot, gives you that defensive versatility. There's also a big difference between a guy playing as the number one guy who's not a number one guy and being the number three guy. Kyle Kuzma was third, fourth guy on the Lakers and won a championship, right? Because he played that 3-and-D role and he was huge for them. Right? And he was even screaming at LeBron to try to play defense, right? Like Sacramento needs somebody like that. It makes sense to go get a guy like that if you're Sacramento. And he's really good at the corner three, which guess where Sacramento likes to operate and kind of feed that 3-point guy, right? Oh, the corner, right? That's why you see, Herter and Murray and, you have all these guys out on the perimeter jacking up corner threes. Harrison Barnes when he was on this team, right? Like, it's the corner three. It's that kick out man, right? And then Sabonis and his passing ability and the way that he's able to kick out from the post. Guess who's really good at that corner three? Kyle Kuzma on either side, right? So if you can come and bring in a guy like that gives you that defensive versatility, gives you that size, gives you that length, gives you that 3-point shooting in particular, a guy that can still put the ball on the deck and make some plays if need be, right? He can get you a couple assists. He can go and operate in the mid-range and knock down shots, but he would have just been a much better fit for this team. And then if you would have went and got, like I said, a Dorian Finney-Smith or, a Jeremy Grant or whatever. Right now, if you can go get 2-3, like legit 3-and-D wings, and then go get an Alex Cruz, or you could keep Keon Ellis, right? Especially if you get like sizable wings, right? If you got like a Kuzma and a Jeremy Grant, right? Well, okay, Jeremy Grant could be your 3, Kuzma could be your 4, with Sabonis, with Fox, with Ellis. What's the problem? You got defensive versatility, you got athleticism, you got everything that you need there. If they could have went and got something like that, or even like I said, a Dorian Finney-Smith instead of, let's say, instead of a Jeremy Grant, because it might have been a little pricey, right? I mean, it's like $50 million in salary. They could have done it, but let's just for simple sake, right? Again, you still have 2 3-and-D wings that can defend essentially 1 through 4, right? Now you're just better, you're more athletic, you're more versatile, right? Like you got size, you can help rebound, you can help defend, right? It's just makes no sense the other way, the way that they decided to do it. I don't know what the logic was there. I don't know what the thinking and thought process was there, right? Like, DeMar DeRozan, he's the answer. He's the guy, right? Like, and now you're paying him all this money for the next year. Like, even if you made him available for trade, I don't know, like, what team is signing up to take on that contract now? I don't know. Might be stuck with him. And I think Sacramento's probably cooked. I don't see a path to Sacramento getting back to contention. I think Kyle Kuzma is a big step in the right direction, but is that enough to get you where you need to go? I don't think so. I don't. I think they need like 2 or 3 guys as far as like defensive versatility out on the wing. Their offense has always been fine. They needed the defensive side of things, but Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel what your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. You kind of like, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.